Hey guys, Wizard59 here and welcome back to a brand new video. And today we're continuing the how to build a Lego army series. In the past I did how to build a Lego Imperial army, how to build a clone army, how to build a first order army for the most cost effective way. And today I'm continuing that series, and today we're going to be taking a look at how to build up your Lego Rebel army for the most cheapest and cost effective way for people of all budgets. I got a lot of requests for this video on my Imperial Army building video, so I thought why not I'd make it. And I know, unlike the others where I actually have the background of the video be my actual army, my army of whatever topic there is, I don't have that big of a rebel army, so therefore I'm not putting my rebel army up as the background. Instead, I'm doing a bit of the slideshow format, and actually that's a lot easier for this type of video, as there are so many different rebel soldiers in like variants. It's easier to do it in the slideshow format as well. But anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Now, building up a rebel army is actually somewhat like interesting, a bit like complicated, because of the fact that there are so many armies, so many different variants of rebel soldiers. You have like your episode 4 ones, Rogue One rebels, you have your like, Hoth ones, your Endor ones. If you search in Rebel Soldier on Brooklyn.com, over about 55 different minifigures show up, so there are a lot. So in this video, we're going to be going how to build a rebel army for each of the different rebel variants in the most cost-effective way. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so let's go ahead and start off. There are two ways you can build up your Lego Rebel army. First off, we have through sets, and you can get sets through either retail stores, so like Target, Walmart, Lego Store, Toys R Us, or you can buy sets through secondhand markets, which are Brooklyn.com and eBay.com. So that's the first way you can build up your Rebel army, and that's through sets. The second one is through minifigures, so just buy the individual minifigures rather than buying sets. And you can do that through Brooklyn.com and eBay.com. Brooklyn.com, you get individual minifigures for great prices, but then eBay is better if you can buy a whole lot of many of the same or similar figures together for a cheaper price. But anyways, now let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so to start off, we're going to be taking a look at the rebels from Rogue One. So basically, how this is going to work, I have, here are the first three rebel soldiers. Now, because Rogue One is a bit complex, that there are just so many different type of rebel soldiers, it's a bit of a more difficult to build up an army. So here we have the first three rebels, and you can see the prices that each of them go for individually on Brooklyn.com. So the first one goes for $2, the second one goes for $3.02, and the third one for $3.52. Now these are all either new or very good used condition prices. And below that you can see all the sets that each one of them come in. So if you want to buy these rebels, I would suggest going ahead and just buying them individually rather than through the sets. So if you look at the sets, you can see you have the ATST Walker for the first one, and again, that's an Imperial vehicle. So if you're not building up an Imperial army and you're building up a Rebel army, that's not a very cost-effective way to go. Then the next one, TIE Striker. Once again, that's a very expensive set. There's no need to buy that just to get that one figure. And the third Rebel is in the U-Wing. And they do have a couple Rebels in the U-Wing set, but for the most part, if you just want to build a Rebel army, the U-Wing is somewhat expensive at around $80, so I would again suggest going ahead and just picking up the minifigure individually on Brooklyn. Now in the U-Wing, I know there's like Bistan and then Pow. Those are the two specific rebels. They're actually not included in this list because you don't want an army of those because those are really specific characters. So in terms of three rebels, I would say definitely buy them individually instead of in sets, as that will save you a lot more money. The next rebels here are all from Rogue One as well. And these actually are all four from the Lego Battle Pack. So you can see the prices of them. All of them are $2.79 except for that second one with the orange beard. He costs $2.85. And then they're all available in that one set. So once again, in terms of individual minifigures versus sets. Now this is actually one of the few sets that actually are available in retail stores as of right now. So therefore, I would say if you add up all those together, it comes out right around $11-12, and the battle pack itself is $15. But the battle pack, you do get a speeder and a current. And of course, these four rebels, because of the fact that they're kind of like new, they're not really available as much as if now. So it'll be difficult to find huge quantities of them. And for that reason, I would say definitely buy them through the battle pack, through sets, rather than just buying them individual minifigures, because you'll get a much better deal. Plus, the battle pack prices are definitely going to be falling in the next few months. From 15, it'll definitely go down to maybe 12, 11, even $10 if we're lucky. So in that way, the prices are going to go down for sure, and eventually you will get a much better worth of it for your money if you buy the set, because not only do you get the four minifigures, but you get a lot of parts, a lot of for like vehicles, and therefore for these Rogue One Rebels, I would say go ahead and pick them up from the set, the battle pack, rather than buying them individually. And moving along, we got the Rogue One Battlefront Rebels. Now, there are four different rebels here, and again, the prices are all down below. The first one is $2.23, the next one $2.20, the one after that $2.30, and the one after that $2.30 as well. And so those are about the prices, and they all come in one set, which is the Rebel Alliance Battle Pack. So, if you want to make an army of these guys, how would you do it? Well, if you take a look, again, add those up, it comes out to all about, what is that, about $9 overall, just for the minifigures, and the battle pack itself cost 11. Now, this battle pack has just been retired. That's the big problem. So if you want to buy it through sets, you're going to have to go on the secondhand market. So because of the fact that you're going to have to buy from the secondhand market either way, if you do the set or minifigure, and the prices are right about the same, I would say just go for the minifigures. Unless you really do want to get the speeder, which is a nice vehicle, it really is. So if you want to actually have vehicles for your Rebel Army, I would say get the set. But if you just want the minifigures and want to save the most money and just buy minifigures, I would say go ahead and go through the individual minifigure route. And I'm guessing some of these you might not want like 50, 60 Rhodians in your army. So that also factors in how many of, like, which one of the four do you want more of. So in that way, I would say because you have more choice when you buy them individually, I would say most cost-effective way to buy these rebels is through individual minifigures rather than through the set. All right, and now we get on to the rebels from the beginning of Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope. Now, there's only one rebel soldier here, and he goes for around $1.70. I think he's the cheapest of all the rebel soldiers, so he's really cheap. The set itself, he comes in, there's two. One is the rebel scout speeder, and the second one is the Tantive 4. Right off the bat, if you're building a rebel army, you're not going to be getting the Tantive 4 because that only has one of that minifigure. And I'm not counting these captains or any of these like sergeant or captains or pilots in this video, so that therefore Captain Antilles in this way does not count. But again, if you just want to build an army of those guys, I would say the Rebel Battle Pack is the better of the two sets. That goes for around $11. Now, here's the thing: if you add up about the Rebel Battle Pack, the Rebel Scout Speeder Battle Pack has four of those minifigures, which if you add it, it's about what, $6.80 if you just buy four individual minifigures. So you're almost paying a little over half the price for the battle pack. So basically, $6.80 for four minifigures is great. And therefore, once again, both these sets are retired. You will have to go to the secondhand market. I would say just get the minifigures. That is a much better deal compared to the $11 speeder and minifigures together. Now, unless you want the speeder, I would say if you don't need the speeder, then I would just say buy them individual minifigures. It will be a cheaper price. You'll get more of them to help build up your army. And again, you're going secondhand market either way. So I would say go through the minifigure route. And if you really want the speeder, you can get it through get the set. But minifigure is the much more cost-effective way. All right, so now we're going on to the Hoth version of the Rebels from Star Wars Episode 5. Now, there are so many different variants of the Hoth Rebel, and we're going to go through each one of them. So, right off the bat, all Hoth Rebels, it's much better getting them individual minifigures rather than through sets, because the sets that they come in, they're just super expensive, or they barely include, and they only include one of that Rebel minifigure. So the sets route, or the minifigure route, is the best way to go. So once again, here are all the prices of how much these guys go individually. Now the first two are $4 and $3. They're pretty much similar. Now, I'm guessing many folks don't want to get those two, especially because they're super old and they don't look as good. Actually, mainly these three, they're all pretty much the same. So, I'm guessing many folks like the newer version of the Rebels better with the new outfit and helmet, and therefore would not want to pick these guys up. But if you do, these are the prices: $4, $3, and $1.75, with the one on the right being the cheapest. So, if you're fine with any of these, the $1.75 one is the cheapest. And I'm quite certain he is the cheapest out of all of them. So if you want to get a Rebel Army for super cheap and you don't care which version it is, the one on the right is the best way to go. If you can see a look at the sets they come in, once again, they're all super expensive or rare and limited edition. And they all only come in one set. So therefore, it is not worth getting that set. So those are a look at the first three Rebels, and now let's get on to some of the newer variants. Alright, so here are the other next four variants of the Hoth Rebel, and basically, excuse me, these guys, some of them have come in more sets. So on the far left, this is also kind of exactly identical to the one seen on the previous page, other than the fact that the goggles are a bit different. He goes for about $2 and he came in one set. And again, here are a list of all the sets they come in. So if you look at the sets right off the bat, it's not really worth it getting them in the set, except for maybe the second Rebel on this page, which we'll talk about. But again, the first one, if you want him, he goes for $2, and I would just say buy him just individually as a minifigure rather than in the set, because that's a limited edition set and it's going to be kind of expensive. Moving along, the next Rebel, which is in the tan color and has a tan helmet and the dark tan legs, he goes for about $3 individually. His price is sideways. And he comes in about 3 sets, so he does come in a few sets. And I know now, if you see that Rebel Battle Pack, for example, there are three of those Rebel Hoth minifigures, but each of them have a different head. So out of all the different head ones, this is the cheapest. So that's all of these are the cheapest of that version. So he comes in the Hoth Battle Pack. The Rebel Battle Pack. That one goes for about $13-14. So once again, if you just want that minifigure, it's much better buying him individually as a minifigure, because in that set you also get a Rebel pilot, and if you don't want the pilots and just want the actual soldiers, then it would be much better to get him in as an individual minifigure. Moving along, the next two minifigures, or actually let's start with the next one, which is the the Hoth Rebel with the dark tan torso. And that minifigure goes for around, what, $8, so it is super expensive. And I would say, if you want a Rebel army, that's the one I would not pick up, just because of the fact he's so expensive. And he's available in only one set, which is the UCS Hoth set, and that is just super expensive. No need to spend the money just to get a few of those guys. Definitely go with the minifigure route for that minifigure. Alright, and finally we have the last Hoth Rebel soldier, which probably looks the best in my opinion, and that one is included in two sets. We have the Assault on Hot set, the small one on the top, then we have the UCS Hot Echo Base set. Both of those sets, once again, aren't the best because of the fact they're like $30+ for the top one. The bottom one is what, like 200. So both of these guys are both of the sets are quite expensive, so I would go and buy that minifigure individually as well. He goes for 250, as you could see, but the best part is because he is a newer figure, so many people have him. Like I saw like 40+ of those guys for 250 each. So the individual minifigure route is best because of the fact that the sets are so expensive, and in the individual minifigure route, buying them individually, you'll be able to get a large quantity of them also for a great price. And out of all the Rebels, I would say the best one is the last one, the newest one, because of the fact that he's so widely available and you can get a large quantity of him for a cheaper price. Alright, and finally we get on to the Endor Rebels. And you can see there are 4 Endor Rebel versions. And basically, the very first one goes for around $3.50. And he comes in only one set, which is the Battle of Endor set. The Battle of Endor set, you can see, goes for almost $100, which is super expensive, only for 2 of those Rebel soldiers in there. So, therefore, I would say for him, buying him individually through Brooklink is much better than buying him through a set. The next 2 Endor Rebels are actually both similarly priced, $185 and $220, and they are included in the same set, the Endor Battle Pack and the Ewok Village. Ewok Village, once again, you only get 2, and that's a $250+ set, so no need to pick that up. The Battle Pack right now in the aftermarket goes for $16.12, which is quite expensive for a Battle Pack. So, therefore, I would say both of these minifigures, again, buy them individually through Bricklink rather than through the sets on the aftermarket, because it's way more expensive if you buy them through sets, because you only get 2 of them. And in the actual, if you buy them individually, you can get many more for you can get almost like 7 or so, or 8 of them for that same price. And finally, the last Endor minifigure. Now I know there are actually 2 variants of him in the set, but they're pretty much the same price. That's why I didn't include the other one, even though he's a bit different. But they go for about $4. And once again, you have to buy these individually. It's a much better deal, because if you look at the Shuttle Titanium, goes for about $90 right now, and you only get 2 minifigures of these 2 Endor minifigures in there. So I would say, once again, pick them up just by buying their minifigure individually. But anyways, there is a look at the Endor Rebel. Alright, but anyways, there you go. There is a look at the most cost-effective way to build a LEGO Rebel army. So once again, to recap, if you want to buy the Rogue One Rebels, I would say pick them up in the battle packs. They're much more cheaper that way. If you want to buy the other Rogue One Rebels, the ones included in the various sets, like the one seen on the bottom left of this page, I would say pick those up through minifigures. And in terms of the Battlefront Rebels, it really depends. If you want the speeder, then pick up the set to buy them. But if you want just the individual minifigures for the Battlefront Rebels, pick them up individually. Next off, the Episode 4 Rebel, those is much better getting them as a individual minifigure, as they're only $1.70 each. So much better getting them as individual minifigures rather than in sets. And then the Hoth Rebels, they also much better getting them individually rather than sets, with the newest 2016 version probably being the best out of all of them in terms of the best value, and because you can get them in a large quantity. And then for the Endor Rebels, pretty much all of them, pick them up through buy them individually rather than through the sets, as the sets are very large, very expensive, and therefore it's better to buy them individually as minifigures. But anyways, there you go. There's a look at how to build a LEGO Rebel army for the most cost-effective way. Hopefully this video helped. If it did, definitely leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and do not forget to subscribe down below. Links to Brooklyn.com and eBay are down in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. This is BrookWizard59, and I'll see you all next time.